What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rolling Green Acres. Today we're working on an old Farmall 460 tractor. Now what we're going to end up doing today on it is we're going to go through the steps of replacing the hydraulic fluid and the hydraulic filter. This particular tractor, it's been sitting for about 5 years because the hydraulic pump went out on it, which I'm pretty sure is the hydraulic pump. It was whining real bad and having problems with the hydraulics for a long time. And then eventually I just heard kind of a pop, and then the whining stopped and I lost all my hydraulics. So in the series of videos on getting this old tractor back up and going after sitting for 5 years in the mean winters and the summers, step one is going to be how to change your hydraulic fluid and filter on the International Farmall 460. This was my grandpa's tractor. I ended up getting it when he passed away, probably somewhere around, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. Now, it isn't the case that, you know, my grandpa bought this tractor when it was new or something like that. I think he bought it, you know, somewhere in the late 80s or early 90s. Now, step one of changing your hydraulic fluid is when you look underneath your tractor, right under here, this housing right here, this is where your hydraulic filter is. Now there's a little square portion right there and a little plate that comes on the bottom. Now that's your forwardmost drain plug. When I pulled that out, I got, that looks like about a little over 4 gallons or so inside that bucket. Now I don't know if they did that on purpose. You know, this has 3 drain plugs. I do think it holds about 15 gallons or so of fluid. Now, would be neat if they thought about that and said, oh hey, let's you know, let's have each drain plug not fill up a 5-gallon bucket, but hey, if it accidentally worked out like that, that's fine too. So we got that bucket's pretty much full. Go ahead and work on the center plug here. Now that plug it lies, you got your seam of where parts of the tractor bolt together right here, just forward of your hydraulic outputs up here. You go down here and there's a little drain plug right there. I already loosened it up earlier. Actually, I guess not loose enough. Okay. Got that where I can take it out by finger now. We'll see how much fluid we get out of this plug here. A little bit of water coming out. This tractor's always had a problem with getting water in the hydraulics. This is actually really clean fluid draining out. I always try to change it as often as I could because it would get milky. Although this fluid is relatively clean looking, I'm going to go ahead and replace it with fresh fluid whenever I replace the hydraulic pump and get that project done. Now while that's draining out right there, I can start demonstrating how to replace your filter here. You just got to take these bolts out, and behind here your filter is going to be. You're always going to want to get a new gasket with your filter and replace that at the same time. It's just a little paper gasket. These tractors are super simple to work on. I really like the way they kind of thought about things back in the day, this 460. Because on the other side of the tractor is your actual hydraulic pump. You don't have to split the tractor or go crazy taking stuff apart to get at it. It's just right here. You unbolt this, all these. This is for your power steering line right here. Go ahead and take all these bolts out and pop that off, and the hydraulic pump is just bolted on the other side of that plate. So it looks like it didn't have much fluid come out of that center bolt. I think most of it now is going to come out back there in the axle housing. See, we've got pretty much down to a dribble right there. Now I can't fit a 5-gallon bucket underneath this back due to the way the old 2-point hydraulics kind of hang down so low in there. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. This holds 4 gallons. You know, I'll drain into it until it gets full, and then I'll pull it out and slide it into a bucket, or pour it into a bucket if necessary. We'll just kind of see how, you know, how much comes out. This is a 1/2-inch drive square ratchet that goes up in there to take this rear plug out. I sprayed all this stuff down really good with PB Blaster a few days ago in anticipation of this project. Now that's pure water, gosh dang. That is not draining fast enough. That's where most of your water is going to go, is to the extreme low point of the tractor. And your oil's going to float on top of the water. Gosh dang, this little pan is not going to be good enough. I got to come up with a backup plan for that. You always keep a cut down bucket around just for special occasions like this. Oh, that's lovely. Okay, we'll go ahead and let that drain out. Alright, now that the fluid's pretty much drained out of it, we'll go ahead and take this filter housing off. The easiest way to attack this is with a rubber mallet. I leave 2 of the bolts started in but loose so that this thing doesn't just fall all the way out. You take your rubber mallet and just smack it like that. Now, I guess if you don't have a rubber mallet, you can use a 2x4 or a block of wood and like a ball peen hammer. Now go ahead and take the last 2 bolts out. Alright, there's the plate off. And this is what your filter looks like. There's this little grab handle. There's a spring. This is some kind of relief valve. And then your filter. This right here has got a little O-ring around it. Now the way it works, there's a pickup tube right there, and there's like another return hole up in there. It just swirls that fluid around, shoves it through the filter. That's going to go across to your hydraulic pump. Now, you're going to want to clean all this gunk out of here. And then after I get it all wiped out, I'll spray some brake cleaner inside of it and make sure all this stuff is completely cleaned out and then dry. Because you know, if this is all dry and all your hydraulic oil's off of it, it's going to make your gasket and your filter fit a lot easier. Since this is a much bigger project than just replacing the fluid and filter, I don't actually have my filter yet, and so I can't really show you about putting that on, but it's fairly simple. You just take your small end right there, stick it up into the hole. This thing is going to go over the big hole, and then there's this acts as a spring tension that holds it in. You just bolt your plate on, and I like to use just a little bit of your blue RTV silicone, you know, just a tiny little smear, enough to help keep that gasket in place while you're putting it on. And I just never really have any leaks doing it like that. Now, as far as I can remember, I think this thing takes about 15 or so gallons of hydraulic oil. You're going to need to get at least 3 5-gallon buckets when you go and buy your oil down at your local tractor place, wherever you get it from in your area. And this is step one of getting my grandpa's tractor back up and going. And this is also how to change your hydraulic fluid and filter. I guess it wouldn't be a real good video if I didn't show you where to add your fluid at. Now, I don't know how your tractor looks, but my grandpa, in his infinite wisdom, went ahead and put this little thing on here to be able to fill with hydraulic fluid. You know, your tractor might have a different little thing, but this is where I fill it on this tractor. And as far as the fill level goes, there's a plug. You'll pull a plug out of the side of it, and you'll fill it up to the level of that plug. And that plug is right here. You pull this plug out, you pour it in up there until it runs out right here. This plug, if you're looking at the tractor, you've got your hydraulic block right there where all your valves are going to take off of. Just right below that, that's the plug. You pull that out, you fill it up with fluid until it runs out right there. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please come back and check out the rest of this project right here. We're going to get this old tractor going again after sitting for 5 years. That's going to include such things as replacing the hydraulic pump. We got to clean out and rebuild the carburetor. We'll probably check out the points on it and the spark plugs. And we'll show you how to maintain and fix up an old 460 Farmall. If you want to see the rest of that, you should go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoyed this video, click the like button and share it with your friends. And thanks for stopping by at Rolling Green Acres, where our motto is, it's okay to be a farmer.